To our daily word this morning. Today is daily word number 756. So, as always, I'm glad you could join me for our time together and our continued conversation through Scripture and what it means for us, and then how we use it and apply it to our daily lives and our encounters with other people, and even in our own just personal prayers, and how we live life with each other and how we share it in community. And so, as always, I'm thankful that you join me, that you say good morning, that you acknowledge that you have joined me, and that we are together as always. So, this morning, on this beautiful day, I have chosen from Psalm 86, verses 11 through 17. So the psalmist faces a lot of troubles, and we hear this. Teach me your way, O Lord, that I may walk in your truth. Give me an undivided heart to revere your name. I give thanks to you, O Lord my God, with my whole heart, and I will glorify your name forever. For great is your steadfast love toward me. You have delivered my soul from the depths of Sheol. O God, the insolent rise up against me. A band of ruffians seeks my life, and they do not set you before them. But you, O Lord, are a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness. Turn to me and be gracious to me. Give your strength to your servant. Save the child of your serving girl. Show me a sign of your favor, so that those who hate me may see it and be put to shame. Because you, Lord, have helped me and have comforted me. So in my conversations with people, it's interesting that these words are so powerful in each of our lives. It's been one of those weeks, and it's only Tuesday, where the needs of folks are great, and there's been many conversations, and me just trying to be a listening ear to folks. But it always comes back with people of this reminder of something that we've talked about in all of our time together, about God's steadfast love towards us. Now, in the Hebrew, the word hesed is steadfast love. And it shows up in this week's reading when the psalmist declares to us, I will glorify your name forever, for great is your steadfast love toward me. You have delivered my soul from the depths of Sheol. The psalmist, and we know the psalmist has had his share of troubles. We hear them, right? Threats, neediness, physical and spiritual death. And yet, in spite of all of that, because of God's steadfast love, hesed, there is a way to give wholehearted thanksgiving and praise in the midst of those difficult troubles. So, on June 21st, I had this trial run with this pain implant, and it worked magic. I was pain-free for 6 days. And when I said to the doctor right before we went to surgery, so how long, if this works, how long until you implant the permanent one? And he said, I'd like to do it within 30 days. I said, okay. And he said, I don't like to let my schedule interfere. I said, okay. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the phone call. Well, she finally called yesterday from the doctor's office. Jim, insurance approved your implant. We're all set to go. I just want to schedule your surgery. And I said, okay. And I had my hopes up. I was sitting at my desk. I had my hopes up. And she said, August 30th. I said, Hannah, are you serious? I know, she said. So we went from within 30 days to 69 days. And my pain level is so high right now that it's just debilitating. And I said to her, look, Hannah, I just can't take this. I got to do something. I know, she said, but I promise, if I get a cancellation, you're the first one to call. I said, look, you call me on a moment's notice. And I felt down about it. I felt, geez, man, how am I ever going to get over the hump? All the way to August 30th. But then, so when you get that kind of news, at least for me, it's kind of depressing and demoralizing a bit. But then there's this reminder of this scripture. God's steadfast love endures. Now, there are lots of translations about Hesed, not just steadfast love, but mercy, loving kindness, loyalty, favor, devotion, goodness, and love. And it's a reminder for us that no matter the troubles we face, no matter what the difficulties we are, I just got done with a conversation with someone who's taken a big leap in life. And the person said, I've always been scared to take these big leaps, but the person is going to take this big leap this weekend. And it's a challenging thing. And we had a conversation about it. And the person said, thanks for all that you've taught me, as they gave me a hug. And I was just reminded, that no matter what we face, taking a big leap, waiting for surgery, all the way to August 30th, dealing with whatever it is that we're dealing with, the wideness of God's steadfast love embraces us and heals us and challenges us. Hesed, steadfast love, mercy, loving kindness, loyalty, favor, devotion, goodness, love. This reminder, now the psalmist understood it. Look, the insolent rise up against me, a band of ruffians seek my life, because they don't put you before themselves, the psalmist says. But you, God, are merciful and gracious. And I think that's good news for us in our lives, right? It's this constant reminder of God's steadfast love for you and for me. And so I'm trying to figure out, how I'm going to get from here to August 30th. There's lots to do, and as much as it's depressing and hard to think about waiting that long and hoping for a cancellation call, there's this reminder for all of us in our lives, no matter where we are, of the wideness, hear that, of the wideness of God's steadfast love. And it meets us right where we are. And I hope, like for me, that's good news for you. Now, it doesn't take away my frustration. It doesn't take away my pain, unfortunately. There's no magic thing. But a recognition of the wideness of God's steadfast love is good for our souls. And good to know of God's grace for us. So that's our word for today. I hope it's a good word for you as you live your lives. So as always, thanks for being with me and sharing your time with me. I hope you'll join me tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Have a great day. Know of God's love that surrounds you and know of my love for you.